In the month of May, the Athletics traveled to Toronto and did not disappoint. Bob Melvin and the boys came out swinging, taking all 4 games versus the Blue Jays. It was a pivotal series for the team as they gained confidence, and the Green and Gold faithful started believing in their 2018 A's. Tonight, the Athletics start a long stretch at home, playing 17 of their next 20 at the Coliseum. With the postseason in the A's sights, the Blue Jays come to Oakland. The next 2 months of baseball should be full of pennant race excitement. A's and Blue Jays, Game 1, next. Well, it is good to be back. The A's tonight will start an 8-game homestand at the Coliseum, and we are looking forward to it. Edwin Jackson will get the start in the first of 3. It's the Oakland A's and the Toronto Blue Jays coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Along with Dallas Braden, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Well, the A's come home. They're going to try to get that offense going. It's stalled in Colorado at Coors Field, but there is one hot hitter, Dallas, and that's Matt Chapman. Man, he's smoking right now.
He is absolutely lights out right now, Kuiper. He is in the center of everything. Over the last 9 games, take a look at this slash line. 472, 537, 917, and OPS north of 1,400. Long balls down deep in the heart of Texas. Long balls up in the Rockies, and the defense never waning, ever present, ever consistent. Matt Chapman is absolutely rolling the pole right now.
All right, so Matt Chapman, he'll be holding down third base. The pitching matchup, Marco Estrada and Edwin Jackson. And Dallas, Edwin Jackson still trying to get that 100th career win. And Marco Estrada back from the disabled list.
That's right. A couple guys trying to get that ship right. Again, before July 3rd, when he hit the DL, Marco Estrada in the month of June, 2.35 ERA, sub-1 whip. And for E-Jacks, the last 3 starts, an ERA north of 5, as opposed to the first 3 starts, an ERA sub-3, 2.45, had done an outstanding job. So a couple guys trying to get back on the right track for their clubs.
And we're not even going to sneak it tonight. We're going to scoreboard watch.
Yes.
Because the Houston Astros are in Seattle to play the Mariners, first of 3. So we will obviously keep a close eye on that game as well. We'll have lineups at first pitch when we come back to the Coliseum. It's the Oakland A's and the Toronto Blue Jays coming up at NBC Sports California.
Toyota, designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. By Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Jack in the Box. Try the $5.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box.
So Edwin Jackson and the Athletics back home to open up this 8-game homestand, and tonight it'll be the Toronto Blue Jays, the first of 3 against the Jays. Look at the game time weather for tonight. It's brought to you by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily, 67 degrees, and the beautiful weather at the Coliseum. Yeah, we're happy about that after still trying to get over the 4 days in Arlington where it was 100 degrees every first pitch. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the visiting Blue Jays, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and here it is. Granderson, Martin, Grichuk, Morales, Solarte, Hernandez, Diaz, Drury, and Maley. That's the lineup for the visiting Blue Jays.
You're going to be taking on that man right there, E-Jax. You can hear E40 slumping in the background. But Edwin Jackson looking to get back on track after stumbling out against the Texas Rangers last time. Shortest outing of the season, 4 1/3. So here against the Toronto Blue Jays, trying to get back on track.
So Curtis Granderson steps in, and we are set for baseball from the Coliseum. Jackson kicks and delivers the first pitch of the game, and it's a little bit high to the veteran Curtis Granderson. Granderson at 233. He's got 10 home runs. Playing in right field tonight. A's have a full shift on for Granderson, and it's high again. Calling balls and strikes tonight is DJ Rayburn. Sam Holbrook is the crew chief. He's at first. Ryan Blackney's at second. Jim Wolf is down at third.
Well, and early on, 2-0. This was kind of the issue for Edwin last time around. Falling behind guys early, and that really wasn't the case for him when he arrived. A lot of strikes in the count early, forced the action. But as of late, some free passes and some 3-ball counts. Not a great recipe.
Sun field, right field. It'll be gone in about 15 minutes. Swing and a miss. And now it's 2-2 to Granderson. Martin to follow, and then Grichuk.
There you see it, Kipe 94 down and away. Edwin, a guy who, for the most part, has felt his way through his outings. Not really flashing the high velocity pitches. 94 to 96 at times when he needs it.
Pretty good take there by Granderson, and that's a leadoff walk. A's defense has Martini in left. Canna is in center. Piscotti is in right. Chapman, Simeon, Lowry, and Olson on the infield, and Jonathan Lucroy is the catcher. So leadoff man aboard. Edwin Jackson into the stretch as he faces Russell Martin. Martin at 182, 8 homers and 20 RBIs.
Russell Martin playing a little third base.
Yep. How about that?
For the Blue Jays. And I know there's Blue Jays fans everywhere clamoring, begging for the arrival of one Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Anytime you're hitting over 400, scratch that. Correct, Kipe. Over 400 at the AA level. They need you here.
I'm begging for him too. I want to see him play. Baseball's #1 prospect.
And that's just the business side of the game at play. Understanding that it's a young man, a bright future ahead of him. Did go on the DL.
Tough year for the Blue Jays. They're 48 and 56 on the year. You don't want to have a bad year in the American League East, not with the Red Sox and the Yankees. The Blue Jays under John Gibbons, lots of injuries, and they just have not played very well. We were looking forward to seeing a young man by the name of Lourdes Gurriel, the younger brother of Yuli Gurriel.
Yeah.
Good-looking young hitter, but he is hurt. Not on the disabled list, but this is Lourdes Gurriel. And this is how he got hurt yesterday. Watch his knee and his ankle right there. Oh, man.
Just that tweak underneath him, trying to avoid the tag on the slide.
That hurt my knee.
Oh.
So that was just yesterday, and he's sitting out tonight.
He hasn't been placed on the DL as of yet.
So the count 2-2 to Russell Martin.
Really, as we've seen Kite, the Blue Jays sort of become sellers.
Absolutely.
Some moves made earlier today, they were a part of that. The cap takes off, and I think the Blue Jays fans are sort of itching for that new blood.
Sure. Can't blame them. Fouled right at the plate. Blue Jays last year 76 and 86. Remember 2015 they were the wild card, one of the wild card teams, and again in 2016. So they had 2 good seasons there, but took a step back last year, and injuries have got them again this year.
Yeah.
They're 21 and 28 on the road. They are on a long road trip. That one pops away from Lucroy, and Granderson read it well. Lots of wild pitches for the A's this year.
When you think about guys trying to expand down in the zone here, you get to 2 strikes, which is the case with Ejax. You want to try to get the fish to bite with that slider. You want a competitive miss as well. And obviously something that Lucroy can keep in front of himself, need be. It's been a tough go.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Martin taps it foul at the plate. Blue Jays, of course, without Josh Donaldson. He's been on the disabled list for a while. The calf, he cannot get past that.
Sort of one of those nagging injuries for him.
Kevin Pillar, the center fielder, he's got a shoulder situation. He's out on the disabled list. Of course, Tulowitzki hasn't played at all this year. He's out for the year. Fine starting pitcher Aaron Sanchez, he's on the disabled list.
Marcus Stroman himself spent some time on the DL as well.
That pitch is inside back-to-back walks. But Donaldson, of course, playing in just 36 games. And this is a guy who wasn't that long ago was the American League MVP. So that's a killer right there.
In the third position,
and Tulowitzki, just not sure what's going to happen with him. They still owe him quite a bit of money on a long contract.
Yep.
Pillar, terrific defensive center fielder.
Well, not only are those names right there impactful offensively, but you just mentioned it defensively as well. JD, a fine hot corner over there. But Pillar, aka Superman, that guy's an absolute freak of nature out there in center field.
So 2 on, nobody out. Here's Randall Grichuk. Grichuk take down and away. This is Kevin Pillar, the center fielder, getting injured. And he's a guy who flies all over the place in the outfield. But boy, you see him land pretty hard on his shoulder right there.
And you know what's tough too about a play like that, you can see him, that clavicle, that collarbone, is he went into a tuck and roll in an effort to try to avoid injury.
Just missed it.
Oh, so tough, because he's meant so much to this team.
One-0 pitch to Grichuk is hit very high, shallow left center. It's going to be Marcana who takes charge. He grabs it. So I guess what we're saying, Dallas, is the Blue Jays thought that they would contend this year, but some underachieving and injuries, and that combination together, and it's not going to be good.
Well, especially with the way that the AL East has gone. You think about the hot start the Boston Red Sox got off to.
Absolutely, and the Yankees, I mean,
made it difficult, right? I mean, the Yankees went through a stretch, and then they heated up. Didi Gregorius early on was a man on fire.
Well, you know what? The Blue Jays, March and April, 16 and 12. So they were hanging around.
Sure.
But then the month of May hit, and it was a disaster. They went 9 and 19 in May. And at that point, with 2 great teams in your division, you're almost buried.
Well, that's the tough part, is we've heard it time and time again. You can't win the division in April or May, but you can sure lose it.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, that seems to sort of been the story written early on for the Toronto Blue Jays, and frankly the rest of the AL East, not named the Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees.
Slowly hit. Simeon's going to throw across the diamond, and Olsen digs it out, and that's a nice play on both ends. The shift was on, so Marcus had a long ways to go to backhand it. And a slow runner, and he gets Ken Morales.
You said it, Kite. Simeon heavily shifted over towards the second base side of the bag. You can see here, but he does a great job of creating a nice little angle. It's not a ball he can necessarily get around, but you see that step right there to cut it off, and knowing that the runner is not the most fleet of foot, and he's got the ability to get this over there, and Ole on the backside with the dig, all smiles.
So 2 outs. Here's Yangervis Solarte. Solarte takes a strike, high strike.
And Solarte's been a guy that the Toronto Blue Jays have needed, just in terms of his flexibility, the way he can be deployed.
Yeah, he's DHing tonight, but you're right, he can play multiple positions. And he's got some pop, 20 doubles to go along with his 17 home runs. Does not get cheated.
No, and if you're John Gibbons, you got to think, you know, we've talked about it already. You're missing Tulo, you're missing JD, Josh Donaldson over there at third base. Somebody that you can sort of plug and play and move around.
Pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out on a pitch in the dirt. So Jackson walks a couple, but gets out of the jam, and the A's come to bat when we come back. And the Athletics. Starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and here it is, Nick Martini in the leadoff spot, followed by the red-hot Matt Chapman. Jed Lowry, good numbers against Estrada, the starter for the Blue Jays. Then it's Davis, Olsen, Piscotty, Canna, Simeon, and Lucroy.
And that man right there, Marco Estrada, was very, very happy to see that calendar turn from April and May on into June, which saw him have a season's worth of success in a month. Essentially 2.35 ERA. Hit the DL July 3rd with a glute issue. And is making his first start back since then, trying to get it right.
But then he goes on rehab and gets a blister,
Got
right?
a blister, Kipe.
So he took him a little bit longer maybe to get back than he thought. Slice to left field, and reaching down is Teoscar Hernandez. Caught it right around the shoe tops. Saw Hernandez, he's in left. Grichuk, good center fielder. And Curtis Granderson is in right.
Second
Russell
position,
Martin,
third baseman.
Eliminus Diaz, Brandon Jury, and Kendrys Morales are on the infield with Luke Maley doing the catching. So with one out, Chapman hits. We talked about Matt Chapman in the open of our show. Just how hot he is. Best stretch of the year, I think, for Chapman the last week to 10 days.
No doubt about it.
The thing that stands out to me, Dallas, is the fact that he's hitting the ball to right field, driving it to right field.
Well, it's funny that that's typically the adjustment that you see early on being made with guys that are either struggling and have started to find success, or guys that have just really been going well from a certain point in time, and it's the ability to use all fields. And in the era of power pull type guys, it's nice to see guys get back to sort of simplifying the approach, if that's the way you want to describe it.
Hit a line drive home run in Denver yesterday.
Well, this was a rocket. Got a little slider just sort of mixed itself over the center. He did not miss.
Just looks like he's waiting on the ball a little bit better.
Those are things you start to pick out and see in young guys as they start to, again, refine their approach and make adjustments as the league has made adjustments to them. You start to wait a pitcher out.
Hit hard, went right to Diaz, the shortstop, who throws it low, and Morales digs it out. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. And tonight, any 95-mile-per-hour fastball is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go.
And that pitch right there, 2-2 changeup down and away for Matt Chapman. The undoubted out pitch for Marco Estrada. But that pitch was probably going to be a strike. Matt Chapman able to sit back and wait, hit that ball with authority.
Hit it hard. Come on, the off-speed pitch away. I know somebody who made their living doing that. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Get a few outs that way. And that's something to look for out of Marco Estrada. Talk about pitch usage. Relies heavily on that changeup fastball, about 50% of the time. Changeup 36% of the time.
Big swing by Lowry in the count 1-1. Lowry at 275, 17 homers, 66 runs batted in. Struggling a little bit at a tough series in Colorado. He was 1 for 12 with 5 strikeouts. We have not said that a lot this year about Jed Lowry.
I feel like the green and gold might have ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw.
You're right. I was impressed with the Colorado Rockies.
Their pitching staff, the starting staff, over the month of June, sub-2 ERA, 1.72, 1.77, something like that. So the young guys starting to spin it well.
Yep.
Very crucial time for the Rockies.
The A's in that 3-game series, just 4 runs scored on 20 hits. They hit a couple of home runs, but just could not get a whole lot going. And when they did get something going, they could not get the big hit. So the Rockies, a very hot team, and the A's found that out. But now, all in all, still a 4-3 road trip. Rockies moved on to St. Louis. Now a full count to Jed Lowry.
He's gone with a couple changeups back to back. Estrada tried to work back to that inside part of the plate with the fastball. Good chance he'd get himself a changeup here with the lefty Lowry. Going heater.
And he takes it. It's a good take by Lowry. 2-out walk.
Well, that's something that we can get used to seeing with 2 strikes, is that changeup from Marco Estrada. Frankly, strikes period with 2 strikes. He had a strike rate of 72% in 2-strike counts last year. Second across baseball. That trend has continued this year. He's the guy who's going to fill it up.
Marco Estrada. Be a free agent after this year. Not having a great year. He's 35 years old, so we'll see what happens in the offseason with Marco Estrada.
35 years old, not a flamethrower. Field guy from the right side. Not a lot of those left kicking around.
1-0 to Chris Davis. 2-0 to Chris Davis.
And that ball was lost just for a minute, Kai.
What was it?
It shot up under the chest protector. That's right, and that's going to be a free base.
A block has been called.
See here, get down, block. I got it. Feet. What do you mean feet? I don't
Right
see
there.
it. Where's the ball? Oh, there it is.
So it's a balk.
Yeah. Catcher's ball.
Not only pitchers balk, catchers do it too.
See it if he
Yeah,
had all
I
the,
thought the catcher was clearly trying to deceive the runner. Right? That's what a balk is.
trying to bait him into it, huh?
Mighty swing by Chris Davis. 2-1 the count.
Yeah, if he'd have just had the stuff that Yadi Molina has on his chest, it'd have just stuck right there.
That's right.
Never.
Had Velcro on his chest. Maley. Chris Davis with 28 home runs and 80 RBIs. That's a good take. The changeup.
That's changing. Yeah.
So when you see 85, 86, that's the changeup.
Well, he starts to work it around. What he does is he tries to back off of the fastball velocity. This right here, I think, Kype, this is like a backup cutter slider.
Okay.
But he likes to work that fastball changeup combination off of each other, and he can add and subtract on the changeup as well. That right there is the changeup, 76 miles an hour.
Gotcha. He's walked back-to-back hitters with 2 outs. Pitchcast tonight brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company.
Batting in the 5th position, first baseman.
So Matt Olson with a chance to knock in an early run. Olson was 2 for 10 in the series in Colorado. Overall, 21 homers, 50 RBIs, and a .233 batting average. 17 doubles. First pitch, mighty swing, and it's popped up to shallow right. And Granderson waits, and he's got it. So both teams threaten in the first, but do not score.
Weekly stats, roster updates, and more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at RBIGame.com for details. Rated E for everybody.
Edwin Jackson back out there. He walked a couple in the first inning, but escaped damage as he faces left fielder Teoscar Hernandez. 243, 16 home runs, 41 runs batted in. And it's 0-2.
There's that slider that Lucroy's had trouble corralling, and really twofold. One, it's not quite getting all the way to him. Edwin trying to hone in that release point, but he gets the swing and miss nonetheless.
Diaz to follow, and then Drury. Good pitch right on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. So 1 away here in the second inning. And with us tonight is Car Saboy. Car, how are you?
I'm great, guys. Good evening. You know, before the game, Matt Chapman was recognized on the field for winning the Heart and Hustle Award for 2018. A pretty cool award. It recognizes the tradition and the spirit of the award. It's given to the player who best embodies that. And it's the only award that is decided on by former players exclusively. I talked to Matt before the game, and he said that he's honored to be recognized, and that, quote, in his words, "It's nice to know I'm doing something right." I also talked to Matt Williams, third base coach and former third baseman himself, and he said that Matt Chapman plays with spirit, and, quote, his words again, he desperately wants to win. So you add those things together, plus a little talent, and you've got a pretty special guy. So now each club has a winner, and as the season comes to a close, current and former players will select one overall winner, and that person will be named in the early November in New York City. So fingers crossed, guys, that Matt Chapman can take home the overall Heart and Hustle Award for 2018.
All right, thanks, Car. So Heart, Hustle, and how about like a boatload of talent?
Yep.
Just saying.
Throw that in there.
Yeah.
Just a sprinkle, just a dash of skills.
He's fun to watch.
He is, and quickly becoming a great ambassador for the team.
Yep, absolutely.
Organization. And he's really sort of taken, I don't want to say a leadership role of sorts, but I think that kind of stuff comes not only with production, but over the course of a season, guys sort of look around the clubhouse and look to a guy who's sort of doing things the same way day in, day out. And I think Chappie definitely embodies that.
And for a guy who's only been in the big leagues 1 year, I think he's very close to being the leader of this team.
Yes.
Would you agree with me?
I would. And I don't think it's weird to say, especially in a young clubhouse that does have some veterans littered around it with Simeon and Lowry and obviously Lucroy. And you get Ejax coming in, but he's a starting pitcher, so very rarely do they get the title of team leader, if you will. It's typically a guy who's out there every day, not just a part-timer like us pitchers.
So 3-2 to Litmus Diaz, the shortstop. We jinxed it. So that's going to be an error on Matt Chapman. This is his 12th error of the year. He had it in his glove, didn't really take a bad hop.
Batting in the 8th position.
Just a matter of that hand being on top as opposed to the sides, but that's typically how that transfer goes. You shuttle it back into that palm. Won't see many of those.
So for the A's, that's their 66th error. It's the 4th most in the American League. Right on the outside corner, it's a strike to Brandon Drury, a Blue Jay. Came over in the deal for Jay Happ.
Billy McKinney.
Yep. Jay Happ with the Yankees.
Drury's a International League All-Star.
Well, he played quite a bit for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
And he's going to get a chance to play a lot here. Kind of a strange situation for Drury. He was on the opening day roster for the Yankees, but he had severe migraine headaches, and that put him on the disabled list for over a month. So let's hope he's 100%. Because the Blue Jays traded a very good pitcher, and this is one of the guys they wanted. So. And if you're Drury, I'm going to get a chance to play every day.
Every day, and that's what you're excited about as a young player, the opportunity to come up, make an impact, know that you've got a real shot at entrenching yourself for the long haul, creating a home.
Sky down the left field line. Chapman. And Chapman turns around and he makes the catch. So Drury is out. All right, here's our Coors Light refreshing finish for tonight. On this date last year, Matt Chapman catches it up over the Gatorade, sticks the landing right there, no problem, but puts his hand on the top of the dugout.
And how about, oh, and he's liking it. That's right, little dig me session, but how about Jeff Collins, the athletic trainer there in the background, first one to stood up on his feet. He could see disaster coming directly his way, and disaster was not wearing a Matt Chapman jersey. It was, what if he doesn't stick this?
That's exactly right. That's what a training staff is supposed to do. Jeff Collins saw potential disaster and he was ready for it. He may have been like reaching into his pocket for whatever tool he may need. He did not need it. 1-0 to Luke Maley, the catcher. 2-0 to Luke Maley, the catcher. 247 is Maley's average with 3 home runs.
Obviously, Maley getting some run with the ability to throw Martin over there at third.
Good pitch right on the outside corner. 2-1.
When you can see Edwin staying away from these right-handed hitters. Fastball cutter combination. There you can see just a slight amount of cut on that four-seamer. And there he is, that 92-mile-an-hour two-seamer, trying to work that back to the inside part of the plate. If you think about two different fastballs, one that cuts and one that runs or sinks away, those are two pitches moving in opposite directions. Basically one pitch, but when located, they become two very, very different pitches serving two very different purposes.
Lots of cutters and
right.
Lots of sliders.
Yep.
Marcus to second, goes the short way, side retired. So an error but no damage done. Bottom of the second coming up. It'll be Piscotti, Canna, and Simeon.
Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company.
No score, bottom of the second inning. Good memories there. The 1989 World Series, celebrated that a couple weekends ago.
Yes, sure did. Nice little parade.
That's right. So here is Stephen Piscotty leading things off in the bottom of the second. Big curve strike.
It's another guy, Kipe, that's been in the middle in the thick of things.
Piscotty overall 258, 14 home runs, 50 RBIs. He got 27 doubles. Out in front, lofts one down the line. It's Hernandez makes the catch, and that's out number 1.
This Friday, the A's roll out a new approach to be a part of the A's family. A's Access provides all members general admission access to every 2019 regular season home game, a plan of reserved seat tickets, and significant benefits that are exclusive to you. From 50% off concessions to 25% off merchandise to parking benefits, all members get the treatment they deserve. Plus, if you purchase 2019 A's Access this season, you will have the first opportunity to purchase 2018 postseason tickets. So set a reminder, 9 a.m. this Friday. Give us a call. Learn more at athletics.com.
All Access, thank you very much. 1-0 A's. Number 14 for Mark Canha.
Number 14 on the year. Got himself a nice little combio. Little changeup going to make its way back to center line. And Mark Canha foot down on time. It's backflipping season, folks.
Looked like he knew it was coming. Maley foul territory near the Blue Jays on deck circle, makes the catch.
Again, Marco Estrada, a guy who likes to throw that changeup early and often. First pitch as well. Mark Canha hunting one thing and one thing only, and he got it.
So 1-0, the A's lead. Getting back to the promo you read, very exciting news about what the A's are going to do next year. And coming up next half inning, Chris Giles, the chief operating officer of the Athletics, is going to join us here in the booth and explain it a little further, even though I thought you did a terrific job.
Well, I think one of the biggest things to take away from all of that is if you go ahead and get this now, you have an opportunity to purchase postseason tickets this year. And the way things are going, you don't want to be at the back of that line.
So Chris will get us all updated on very exciting news coming out of the Athletics front office today. It's going to be good stuff.
Yes.
So we'll find out all the ins and outs about A's Access coming up next inning. That one is driven right center, and that's hit pretty well. Gritchick getting over there, and he makes the catch. So Canha with a home run. A's lead 1-0. Chris Giles, chief operating officer, is going to join us talking about A's Access when we come back. Now by A's Chief Operating Officer Chris Giles, who has, this is big news. This is big news. Chris, I know this was your idea, and we've been looking forward to hearing more about it. A's Access. First of all, tell us, let's get right to it. Tell us, what is A's Access for 2019?
The easiest way to think about it is there's two key parts. Every member of A's Access will get to come to all 81 games should they choose. In addition to that access, in other words, if you're a member, you can come and go as you please. In addition to that access, you'll have a more traditional set of reserve seats, more like a traditional set of season tickets. And then there's a whole bunch of really cool benefits like half-off concessions, 25% off merchandise that go along with that.
Half off food and drink.
That's a $4 20-ounce beer, just to be clear.
That's what we were getting at. Let's be real. That's
we
what
want
we're getting
specifics. That's important.
That's right. Because you get thirsty at the ballpark, you get hungry at the ballpark, and you're telling me right now I can pretty much trim 50% of the fat of that tab right off the top.
That's exactly right. I mean, if you're willing to commit to this team, we're committing to you right back.
I like that. I like that.
Chris, why the change? We know the what. You just told us that, but why are we doing this?
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to kind of shifting in tides a little bit. You've got your, more traditional fans that want that reserve seat. They want to feel that ownership. They want that neighborhood. And then you've got a whole different group of fans that are kind of newer onto the scene that want something that's a lot more flexible and a lot more social. So we developed this plan to really help the team kind of bridge that gap to make sure that we're serving both sets of those fans.
All right, I saw the word used, membership. It's like having a membership to the Oakland A's. Is that kind of a fair assessment of what this plan is going to be?
Yeah, and if you have a membership, you can come when you want. Just like a gym membership, if you're a member of A's Access, you can come to the ballpark. You can show up. You really got three options once you get here if you come on a day that you don't have a ticket. One, we've got about 2,000 general admission seats out there by the Treehouse. Two, you can hang out in a spot like the Treehouse or Shibe Park Tavern. Or three, every membership comes with an allotment of seat upgrades. So if you don't want that experience, you want a more traditional kind of fixed seat experience for one of those games that you just show up on a whim for, you can use one of those upgrades.
Okay, so you're saying, let's say I want to buy a 24-game plan, okay? The other 20 for the non-24 games, I can still come to the ballpark, is basically what you're saying.
100%.
And there's going to be a designated area where I can sit if I want to come out.
Yeah, you got a GA section, you got the Treehouse, or you can upgrade.
Perfect. I think that's important. And how is this? Does it change at all for the person who's a traditionalist and says, hey, I want my 81 games, I want the full season, but I don't want to move around. I like my seat. So, what is the benefit to the people who are doing it, for lack of a better phrase, maybe the old-fashioned way of saying, give me 81 in my own seat?
Yeah, within your Access membership, you can have anywhere between a 10 to an 81 game reserve seat plan. Ooh. For anyone that has a membership currently, you can renew the exact same seating plan you have now. You can have that same seat every game experience, but within that Access program with that robust set of benefits, you can even give those tickets away and show up just with your credential. We'll still let you in.
See, that's right there. That's the key thing, because sometimes there's folks who might have something that comes up last minute, or maybe you just want to extend an awesome evening to a friend, or maybe it's a business associate, whatever that may be. You have the flexibility. You have the opportunity to say, hey, you know what? This one's on me and the Oakland A's. Go have a good time. Maybe I'll catch you in one of the GA seats around the 6th inning. We'll come up to the Treehouse and have a pop and talk about the game you're having.
Absolutely, and you guys can meet up in the Treehouse and have a great time. The access to the ballpark is limited to the member themselves. It's based off your photo credential that you use to get in, but those tickets that come with it, those are fully transferable.
Now, what if you're sharing a plan like this with friends? Say you and I decide to go halvesies. I mean, hey, CG, what's going on, man? The A's got an awesome deal going on. You want to go halvesies? How does that work out in terms of the flexibility and being able to sort of pass or punt on a game and work that in with your buddy?
Yeah, one of the things that's brand new from this year is the transferable membership benefits between share partners. So while the access to the ballpark isn't transferable, the concessions discount, the parking, those sort of things, they're all transferable. All you got to do is register your members, whether you share with 2 or even up to 4 parties.
So, Chris, some of these benefits that we're looking at here, you mentioned the 50% off concessions, 25% off merchandise, parking benefits, seat upgrade credits, 12-month payment plan for auto renews, and the option to purchase 2018 postseason tickets. So these are the benefits that you're going to get if you belong to A's Access.
That's right, and the payment plan's a big one. You know, the ability to rather than coming up with that whole thing, you know, now for the 2019 season, you can spread that over and just say, I want to do monthly payments. They auto-renew. It's very much like any other membership, you know, very much like Amazon Prime would do. Just you kind of got a membership that renews automatically, and that's what we're moving towards.
Now, where did the inception of this idea come from? Obviously, you're a huge sports fan. We appreciate everything you've done here early on for the organization, but somewhere in your heart of hearts as a fan, you were struck. Where did this idea come from?
Really, it came from the development of our vision for the new ballpark. And that ballpark will have a general admission experience that's anything but general. And if you think about that, you should be able to come and have a much more flexible, much more social time, and it shouldn't be a subpar experience. So as we began to think through, okay, what would that experience be like, where it was awesome to move around the ballpark, there was a lot of different unique spaces, you quickly got to the place, well, why would you buy a single seat in a reserved location if that's the experience you wanted? You'd end up with a bunch of empty seats where people were in those social experiences, so we had to develop a ticketing plan that really supported that, and this is just the beginning. We're going to continue to evolve this over the years, and ultimately we want to give folks the opportunity to understand how this program works as we move into the new ballpark.
Now, Chris, how many plans are there? I know we talked about the 24 game. There's also a 10, and obviously the full season. Is it just 10, 24, and 81? Are you thinking about doing more, or is that where we're at right now?
Yeah, there's actually a few more in there. There's the 10, which is kind of the entry level. We got a 24, which is a pick 'em as well. Both the 10 and the 24, you can pick any games you'd like. The price varies on which seats you select and which games you select. And then we have more of your traditional, hey, these are all the weekend games. That's a half season. These are all the weekday games, half season, or you can go with the full 81 if that's what you so choose.
Again, and not to be redundant here, but the idea of fans being able to, you know, because folks at home are watching the pitching matchups and they're seeing how things have shaped up. You think about right now, trade deadline, maybe your favorite player might not be at the ballpark come next week. So the ability to, again, hand select these games that you want to go to, and if things just don't quite work out on that day, the flexibility and the freedom to be able to show up at another time or maybe move those tickets around, that exists. That's very real.
Yeah, you got a couple options. You can even call our ticket services group and exchange your reserved seats for different games, or you can take advantage of this program and just show up.
Right. That's the take-home message. Get out to the yard.
Well, and stuff, a lot of folks come in and they're, you know, hey, you got to select your games now. Most clubs will say, hey, you got to select them now. We have no idea who's going to be pitching a year from now.
Right.
And this program just says, you know, if there's a really compelling matchup, we come down to a division race, a wild card race, you got a very meaningful game that you don't have tickets to, you can come in and enjoy that game.
That's big time.
So how do the upgrades work? Let's say I come out to one of the games where it's not one of my 10 or it's not one of my 24.
Yep.
You know what? I'm just coming out. But you know what? I kind of feel like maybe I do want to sit down close. What would I have to do?
Yeah, so it's all enabled through the ballpark app. Up to 4 hours before the game starts, you can start looking at upgrade inventory. We allow you to upgrade with a set of upgrade credits that are just included in your membership. You don't have to pay extra for them unless you want to go beyond that allocation. And those upgrade credits will let you upgrade to a seat kind of that's comparable to the seat location that you purchased as part of your reserve seat plan.
Okay. So it's I mean, this is all, I mean, it's really cool stuff, but you also got to work really hard to make it easy for the fans too, right? You don't want them to be unsure of all of this, and you're going to get a lot of questions in the next couple weeks. Hopefully you get a lot of questions because fans are interested in it. But I'm sure you have all the answers written down, and you know that you're going to get a lot of questions because I think fans want to understand exactly what am I getting into? Is this as great as it sounds?
Yeah, we expect to get lots of questions. Anytime you roll out a new model that not only hasn't been done by your club but hasn't been done in baseball before, you're going to get a lot of questions. And so we've got a team of folks that are here, 510-638-4627. They'll answer all of your questions. But really the key takeaway is this is the ability to come and go as you please, to have that true feel as a member. Plus, we're not taking away any of the reserve seats that you valued for so many years either.
And now folks that have gone out and purchased the Treehouse Pass, does that have any effect on the existing pass that they have now? Does the Treehouse Pass go away in the future, or does it sort of just blend in? How does that work?
Yeah, the Treehouse Pass will still be available next year for $149 a season. It doesn't have any of the membership benefits, so it's not part of the access program. You don't get the concessions discount. You don't get the merch, parking, playoff rights, those sort of things. But these programs in access membership, they start at, you know, $240. So it's not that much more expensive. Just say, you know what, I want to be a full-blown member.
Yeah, especially when you think about what the Treehouse offers you, because as you mentioned, for that price tag, just the Treehouse, you can come out, hang out, grab food, grab drinks. You got a beautiful spot to socialize, check out the ball game. I mean, that right there at $140, I believe is what you said. That right there is what that gets you. And for a nominal fee more, you're able to, as you said, become a member of the family.
Absolutely.
All right, so now I'm going to play, you know, the pessimist, the devil's advocate.
That's right.
Let's do it.
That's right.
So I'm saying, wait a minute. Okay, sounds great. I'm even going to play the part here. Sounds great, Chris. What's up, though? There's something. There's more to it. I know there is.
That's the beauty of this, and everyone always goes, okay, well, how much is it going to cost me, right?
Where are you hiding? You're hiding something, aren't you?
This is all about us growing the membership base to where it needs to be for us to be successful in Oakland. We're not even raising prices. This is just a giant invitation to our fan base to come out and become a member of the Oakland A's. There is actually no catch.
So it's really, when you simplify it, it's come join us, right?
100%.
Come
join the family, baby.
And have fun.
Well,
That's right.
When you think about the accommodations that are being made, honestly, because I know that has a lot of impact on families and folks who are deciding whether or not they want to get everybody together and pile in the Winnebago and make a trip out to the ballpark. Well, here you can just, right off the top, again, maybe it's a hat, maybe it's a shirt or a jersey of your favorite player. Everybody's going to want a soda pop or something to eat. You guys have really paid attention to all of those things that do help enhance the fan experience, some things that people really don't give a lot of credit to or really think about initially.
And we're not done either. I mean, we're going to do even more upgrades to the Coliseum this offseason. We feel like we really have to address that family experience, give families the opportunity to come out and enjoy the game and not choose between, do I entertain my kids or do I watch the game? And so a field view family area is very important to us in the offseason, as well as, you know, really thinking about what sort of premium amenities we add to the Coliseum as well.
And it all starts Friday, 9 a.m., correct?
That's right.
All right, Chris, thanks for coming by. Nice job.
Thank you very much, guys.
So Friday, 9 a.m., you can start making the purchase. You can be part of A's Access. We're all in. 1-0 A's. So bottom of the third inning, the A's leading 1-0. Top of the order against Marco Estrada. First pitch was a strike. Second pitch is ball. Well, we promised you we were going to keep a close eye on the Astros and the Mariners. They are scoreless in the fourth inning. And the series up in Seattle. So that's a biggie. That's a biggie, Dallas. The Mariners are only 4 games back. A's are 6 games back. So there's the AL West. It's Cole and Paxton, so a terrific pitching matchup. It's the first of 3, and it's scoreless in the 4th inning. So we will indeed keep a very close eye on that ball game up at Safeco Field. Hustling over is Granderson, and he's going to have to play it on a hop. He's had a leadoff base hit by Nick Martini. So, leadoff single. Well, it all started on June 15th. Actually, it started the next day. He's lost on the 15th of June to the Angels. They were 34 and 36. 11 and a half games back in the West, 11 back in the wild card. Today, 6 games back in the West and 2 back in the wild card. So they picked up 9 games in 6 weeks.
Pretty good. Pretty good work. Pretty good work by the Oakland A's. And Kipe, I hate to be the what if guy, but it's just tough to think about the ground that could have been made up this last series here. That's a dagger.
Well, I think, and I said this about a week ago, Dallas. It's been a great stretch. It gets you right. Obviously, you're back in it. You're behind the Mariners by 2 games, but my thought was what it did. Yes, it got you closer, and that's the most important thing. But it allows you now, if you have a tough week where maybe you lose 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6. You're still okay.
Right.
When you're 8 back and you have a bad week and you go to 10 back, that to me is what you eliminate. You can handle a bad week now.
Right.
If you're 2-3 back.
Sure.
You know, you're still okay because you got what, 50 games left or whatever the number is.
Yeah, but you find yourself, to your point, you find yourself somewhere around the 7-8 mark and you have that bad week, that bad stretch.
It could be done.
Well, that's what turns a team from a pretender, or excuse me, from a contender into a pretender, right?
Or from a buyer to a seller.
Exactly.
So again, just 2 back of the 2nd wild card team, the Seattle Mariners. And when you look at you stretch out the American League wild card, there's nobody else behind the A's.
No, that's it. It is a, I mean,
it's 3 teams fighting for the 2 wild card spots, and I mean, you know, the next closest team is the Angels, and they're 7 back of the Athletics. Now that doesn't mean they couldn't make a great run. I mean, there's time for that.
Sure.
But as of right now, it's really 3 teams fighting for 2 spots. Three-2 pitch inside. So Chapman walks, and the A's got something going here in the bottom of the 1st, or bottom of the 3rd, excuse me. So 3 walks, no strikeouts for Estrada.
And you mentioned the run that Matt Chapman has been on, and we talked about it at the top. Using the entire field, going the other way, showing patience that might not have been on display earlier in the year. And that's something to think about, especially with a young player like Matt Chapman, eager and anxious to make an impact, especially during a pivotal time in the team's season like right now. He could very easily be trying to, that ugly cliche, do too much.
Sure.
And that's just not the case right now.
1-0 to Lowry. Lowry, right field, hit well. Granderson back, spinning around, reaches up in front of the wall, and he makes the catch. Martini alertly tags up, and he will go from 2nd to 3rd. So a productive out for Lowry, but I think Jed was looking for more.
Yep, back home in Oakland here.
And maybe Dallas, a little top spin, is that possible?
A little top spin. It looks like he got in under the label just enough for Jed to not have this one clean, and you can see there he felt like he hit it pretty clean, and it's just a matter at the Coliseum at work. Might be 3 left turns in Arlington.
You may be right. Davis takes the changeup at 77 down and away.
And this is something that's actually been problematic for Estrada. The swing percentage on the changeup out of the zone down to 33%.
Left center field. Teoscar Hernandez gets over there and he makes the catch, but plenty deep for a sacrifice fly as Nick Martini hustles home, and the A's lead 2-0. So RBI number 81 for Chris Davis.
And you take that, get him on, get him over, get him in. Martini with the leadoff knock. Chappie puts the peepers on him, gets the free pass, moves him to second base. Lowry with a productive out, and KD follows up with a little bit of the same. You like to see that, especially from a team who has clearly relied on the home run at times to create their offense. Couple of productive outs.
Yep, it's good baseball right there.
It is.
1-0 to Matt Olson with Chapman at first base. Olson hit a fly ball to right field in the first inning. Did that with a couple of runners on and 2 outs. Kind of a late strike call by DJ Rayburn, but it looked like it was a strike.
Just a changeup that got jerked to the inside. See, Estrada falls off heavily to the first base side. Might have just got around that changeup and cut it enough.
And there's the changeup. That was a good one. Estrada kind of falls off the mound toward first base. Don't know if that adds to the deception a little bit, but
well, it's a straight four-seam changeup, Kipe, and his arm slot, which is over the top. He's got to do a good enough job of clearing his head to allow that arm to come through.
So another run for the Athletics. Sacrifice fly by Chris Davis. 4th inning coming up. It's the A's 2 and the Blue Jays nothing.
California is brought to you by Kelly Moore Paints. Go where the pros go. Kelly Moore, the painter's paint store.
2-0 the A's lead. Edwin Jackson, first pitch. There's a strike to Teoscar Hernandez. Hernandez struck out looking in the second. 4 strikeouts and 3 walks so far for Edwin Jackson, looking for that 100th career win. He got win number 99, Dallas, on the 30th of June. He's gone 4 starts since then, and he just has been not been able to get that milestone. Maybe tonight.
In a while, hopefully tonight. If he can continue to execute away with that cutter, I think his odds get better inning by inning. Former teammate Brett Tomko logging the all-important 100th victory.
Yep. He had to work for it.
This is something to pay attention to as well with Edwin, and I know that we've talked about this in starts past. He's been very good early on. The first 3 innings of a ball game, ERA around 2. Opponent's batting average 129. That's over the first 3 innings of the game. After that is when things start to get hairy. The ERA goes up. Batting average against goes up. So if he can bottle whatever it is he's been able to take out there the first 3 innings and build on that and execute, I'll be able to hang around a little while longer.
Why not? Count stays 2-2. First time through the lineup. Lee is hitting 140 against Edwin Jackson. After that, 266, and he is into the second time through the lineup.
And you can see there he reaches back and tries to get a little more on that fastball after the cutter's away. 86, 88. Runs it up there to 93, looking to beat these guys to a spot. And that pitch count starts to creep up. I'd like to see him put guys away a little earlier.
Pitch number 73, and it's bounced foul, so he has thrown a lot of pitches. So this was a big move today, folks. Trade deadline is tomorrow. The Blue Jays and the Astros made this deal today. Roberto Osuna goes from the Blue Jays to the Astros. Ken Giles and a couple of young pitchers go from the Astros to the Blue Jays. So a lot of chatter about this trade. And it all, of course, has to do with Roberto Osuna, who's a very, very good closer, but he has been suspended under the league's domestic violence policy 75 games. And that, of course, is where the controversy comes in. Understandable.
Sure.
He is eligible to return on August 4th, so he's just about done with the 75-game suspension. And from what I was reading not long ago, the Blue Jays said, you know what, he's not going to pitch for us.
They had made that determination fairly early on.
As an organization, we're not comfortable with it. We're going to move past him. When we get a deal we like, we will make that deal. And they got one today, so Roberto Osuna is going to be a Houston Astro. So Hernandez strikes out for the second time.
He's got wipeout stuff, kind of like this wipeout slide ball here from Ejax. Great job. Middle, but down. Very important as far as deception is concerned. He's been working away with that pitch. Show him something middle down.
Shallow right where Piscotty trots in. So Diaz is retired. 2 outs here in the 4th inning. So with the trade deadline tomorrow, things starting to heat up a little bit. We've had quite a few trades already, actually. I think seems like, anyways, most of the real big name guys, the Machados and the Britons,
sure,
those guys went a little earlier. The deadline is tomorrow at
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock Pacific time. Oh boy.
And something to think about with that Astros move and the state of Osuna is he is eligible for the postseason.
Yes, that's a good call.
You know, you think about the suspension of Robinson Cano. Should the
what a play by Chapman. Throws across in time. That's the Matt Chapman we know, and that's a good inning for Edwin Jackson. Bottom of the 4th coming up. A's leading 2-0. Always a good time at the Treehouse. You know what would be fun, Dallas, if you think about it? It would be a lot of fun to do a game from out there.
That'd be awesome.
Should we?
I'm in.
What are you doing Saturday night?
Want to do a game from the Treehouse?
I do. You want to?
I'm in.
All right, let's do a game. Kara, we're going to do a game from the Treehouse on Saturday night. Did you know that?
I didn't, and I'm jealous because this is the place to be up here, guys. As you know, it's a party spot for 2018. Today, Mustache Monday, so all cocktails are half off. This is also great news for A's fans because did you know that 17 of the next 20 games will be played here in Oakland? That's a lot of home games, and as Bob Melvin told us in the manager meeting this afternoon, that's great news for the team. Better weather here gives the players time to get back into their groove and their routine, and they also love playing in front of the home crowd. So that is a call to action to A's fans. Come on out, enjoy an A's game in August. Come up to the Treehouse, half off cocktails Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tomorrow, Taco Tuesday, half off tequila drinks up here, and free parking Tuesday thanks to Chevy. This weekend we've got a fireworks night, Witches and Wizards presented by Chevron, all sorts of heritage nights this homestands. So the A's are doing everything in their power to make it a fun scene here at the Coliseum. They just need A's fans to get here and support this team in the final couple of weeks of the season. So good times here at the Coliseum, but I'm jealous of you guys here on Saturday. That's going to be rocking and wild out here.
Yeah, Kara, if you can, maybe just mingle around a little bit and let them know we'll be out there Saturday.
I will.
For the
I'll reserve some spots for you guys.
Yep.
Sounds good.
We're going to have fun. So it'll be a three-man booth. Ray Fosse, Dallas Braden, and myself, and we will be in the Treehouse. We're excited about it. Canna lofts one left center field. Piscotti tagging but staying, and that's the first down. So this is the schedule that Carl was talking about, and we have talked a lot about it. You got the Blue Jays, then the Tigers come in this weekend, and the Dodgers Tuesday and Wednesday. That's just a quick two-game series. We go to Anaheim for the weekend, come right back, and how about that? Mariners, Astros, Rangers, and then look down at the bottom, Mariners again. That's a four-game series.
Yes.
So it's going to be fun. A lot of baseball, and it's not just any baseball. It's pennant race baseball, which makes it a little more special. But on Saturday night, Dallas, that's our spot right there where those folks are standing. They're going to clear themselves out of there, and we're going to be at the railing right there, and that will be your view.
Seems like a pretty good shot.
So come by and say hi if you're out there. But keep in mind, we are working. We do have to sort of do our jobs.
Kinda. I wouldn't mind getting a home run ball way up there.
Well, we could go out there early, hang out for BP.
That's an absolute shot.
I tell you what, though, it's, you know, you go out there with Fosse, it's like you're with the Beatles.
Oh, I know
what I'm saying?
I know it.
He's going to be huge. He's going to need a couple bodyguards out there because it's not easy.
It ain't easy.
It's not easy being Ray Fosse at this
number 10 comes rolling through the concourse. Look out!
That's what I'm saying. So the Fosse posse will be out in full force in the Treehouse just to see their guy. So we'll just get out of the way a little bit.
Just move. Yeah. Make a hole.
It's our guy. See, look.
It's a birthday boy.
It's Mustache Monday.
Already a better job at growing those than Matt Chapman.
So that's it. As we like to say, that's a good effort. 2-2 to Marcus Simeon. Down the right field line. Granderson's not going to be able to get to it. Play has to be made, Dallas.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Put a glove on that hand. E-fan.
Fouled straight back. Count remains 2-2.
You're starting to see Estrada work up in the zone against the Oakland A's right now, and that could be a recipe for backing up bases if he's not able to get them to chase and expand up. If he misses up in the zone, could spell trouble.
A little flare, it could work, and it will. Piscotty's going to go to third, and the A's have runners at the corners and 1 out.
Simeon does a great job of filleting this changeup as it starts to work back towards the inner third of the plate here. Simeon, that's a very tough pitch to stay inside on, especially a pitch that might have had you out in front. Your body's leaking forward. The only way to combat that is by keeping your hands back, which Simeon does a tremendous job of. That's what allows him to keep that barrel inside, fillet the inner half of that baseball. Mark Canha heads up read going first to third.
So Lucroy will try to get the A's their third run home. Outfield shifted toward right center, infield double play depth. Edwards hit toward right. Granderson, he's got it. Here comes Piscotty. Here comes the throw to the plate. Cut off. 3-0 A's.
Well, it's the hustle from Mark Canha going first to third. A great read on the bases. Or excuse me, Piscotty, a great read on the bases. And Jonathan Lucroy taking advantage of a pitch he knows he can get up in the air, out to the outfield. They like it.
So Lucroy gets his 34th RBI. Couple of sacrifice flies tonight for the Athletics. You know, home runs are great, obviously. The bases clearing doubles are wonderful, right? But there's something about the execution of a sac fly. I know that sounds silly, but it tells me that you're doing your job. Very simple.
I think it shows that there's an effort. You're paying attention to game situation. There's a couple different things. One, you think, you know, I don't know if it's sacrificing yourself or necessarily giving yourself up. But it is definitely a different approach to take up to the plate. And when you are able to execute,
it's successful execution.
Yes.
It may not be, you know, the big box score thing, but
when you think of it, you go back to the third inning without the sack from Lowry, moving him over. KD comes up, is able to get him in, and that's all because sticking with an approach and you're executing.
So 2-1 now to Nick Martini. I think Estrada thought this should have been a strike. Probably should have been. Shallow right. Granderson dives, can't get it, hits him in the face, bounces towards center field, and that's going to allow Simi to come all the way around and score. 4-0 A's. You can hit him right in the face.
It did. Martini catches this one off the cup. Quickly dying, and Curtis Granderson doing everything he can to sell out. Try to make the catch, and it looks like it catches him just off the right side of the face. Take a look right under the nose area. Oh man, that cannot feel good. That's not a glancing blow.
Let's hope he's okay, and it looks like he is going to stay out there. Curtis Granderson, one of baseball's good guys.
Absolute gamer as well.
So he seems to be okay. It's a double for Martini and an RBI, and the A's have scored twice here in the fourth.
Now batting third base baseman, number 26, Matt Chapman.
Estrada is being allowed to throw a few pitches. I'm not sure why. Umpire said it was okay.
Just a little downtime out there, I guess, Kite.
Training staff and John Gibbons just now getting off the field. Chapman, a ground out to short and a walk. First pitch down and away. So 1-0 to Chapman. Stride right at the knees.
He's done a good job of keeping it low. Saw last AB might have missed out on a strike, but he likes to work that fastball to the inside part of the plate. We've seen him sort of struggle to command the ball on that side of the plate, which in my opinion is why we've seen him go to that changeup. I don't want to say more often. Again, 36% of the time he's using that changeup. If you're not able to throw strikes on the inside part of the plate, you leave yourself open to these hitters eliminating an entire side, and that's never any good.
And another good take by Chapman. So he's just laying off that pitch. So Jake Petrichka starts to throw.
That's right, Kuip. Again, 3-1 now. Sitting on something soft, away. If you're Matt Chapman, he's got to come to you right now. Something Marco Estrada does a lot of, using that changeup behind in the count in an effort to garner weak contact.
And a strike, outside corner. He just keeps throwing it, doesn't he?
And there it is. And again, you think about missing inside with the fastball in an effort to set up strikes away. And here he gets the benefit of call. Big pitch here, 3-2.
And it's tapped slowly to the right side. Morales has it. Estrada covering the bag. Side retired, 2 runs on 3 hits for the A's. 5th inning coming up, 4-0 Athletics. Fifth inning. Luke Maley, the catcher, will lead it off against Edwin Jackson. 5 strikeouts and 3 walks in 4 innings for Jackson. He's allowed just 1 hit.
And this right here, if you're Edwin Jackson, is a perfect opportunity to sort of put the onus back on this opposing lineup here, force them to hit your pitch.
Pops a fastball in there to Maley. 1-1 the count.
Saw that note on run support.
Driven to right. Piscotty backs up. He waits. Piscotty grabs it, and that is out number 1. And let's check back in with Cara Suboy, who's with the voice of God, Roy Steele.
That's right. In A's circles, this man really does not need much of an introduction, but I am so honored to be sitting with Roy Steele right now. He's back at the Coliseum to celebrate Bill King Day. Our colleagues on the radio side are having a commercial-free broadcast in the one-year anniversary of Bill King getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. And so old famous celebrities in the A's organization have come back to honor the day. Bill, Roy, if you can, share a great memory of working with Bill King, if you could.
Well, you know, the great memory I have of him is how I first dealt with listening to him. I didn't meet him, I didn't know him, but I lived in the Marine Corps town of 29 Palms. I had a nice Chevy 9-passenger station wagon with a tremendous sound system. And I used to pull out into the desert, build a little fire, take down the third seat, take a sleeping bag, and lay there and turn on Bill King doing the Warriors. You know, and what amazed me is he never repeated phrases. He was such a master of words. And then today I talked to his daughter, and she said Bill used to take every day 10 new words out of the dictionary and make sentences of him. And he did that throughout his life. So no wonder he was so good at describing sports events.
That is a good lesson for us all in broadcasting. Incredible. Now, Roy here was employee #1 with the Athletics. So you have seen teams come and go, but I understand you're fairly impressed with the 2018 A's.
Oh, I love it because they are so exciting. Now, we had exciting teams, but I think this team on the long course every week have been so exciting. And again, it's a matter of no names, just like we were in 72, 73, 74. The no-name A's beat everybody. So I'm hoping, like right now, the game is going great for us. So we didn't have the good experience in Colorado, but a lot of things kind of fit into that. So I think that this is, to me, I've regained my interest. And I'm sure that there are hundreds of thousands of people in Northern California who have done the same thing and regained their interest.
Well, thank you for being here, sharing your memories of Bill. We appreciate it. And fellas, back to you as we end the inning.
All right, thanks, Carl. Man, is it great to hear his voice or what?
It purrs.
It
It
still
just
sounds
purrs. And how about
Roy
that?
Steele.
How about that story?
Which
9-seater station wagon, cruise out to the desert,
Absolutely.
29 Palms, get himself a nice little fire crackling.
You know there was paneling on the side.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
He's a good man, Roy Steele, and he knows exactly what this team is up to. So a 2-out double by Russell Martin. And that one's hit left field. Martini headed for the corner, and he's got just enough room, and he makes the catch. Double, nothing else. Bottom of the 5th coming up. 4-0 A's lead.
Motorsports California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
A's 4, Blue Jays nothing. Bottom of the 5th inning. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake expert. So Aaron Loup comes in for his 50th appearance. Takes over for Marco Estrada, who went just the 4 innings. Estrada finished with 69 pitches, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, and no strikeouts. So Estrada, he's not necessarily a huge strikeout guy, but he does get strikeouts. But he didn't have any tonight. Does that tell you something?
Tells me he had a tough time, obviously, putting guys away. Oh, no dud, Dallas. But he battled as far as command early on. And for him, and I'm speaking from experience, if you can't establish the strike on the inside part of the plate as a changeup artist, the reason you are doing that is to widen the strike zone. You got 17 inches worth of home plate to work with. And if you can make it look bigger, well, that's a benefit. How do you do that? You throw to both sides of the plate. Fastballs in to speed them up. Changeups away to slow them down and expand the zone. And that's just something he wasn't able to do tonight.
So as he is out after 4 innings. Count stays 1-2 to Lowry. Lowry, Davis, and Olsen at the bottom of the 5th inning.
It is still kind of curious, though. Only 69 pitches. Could be a matter of the Blue Jays. Gibby saying, keep him right here. Give us a chance to try to claw back into this thing.
Got him swinging. So Lowry strikes out first out. We had some trades today. Some just happening. Dallas, what do you think? So the Mariners, they've gone for bullpen help all year.
Yes, they have.
So they got 2 more. Adam Warren, kind of a swing guy, long guy, and a lefty, Zach Duke. So they got 2 relievers today.
Yep.
Lance Lynn goes to the Yankees. Adam Duvall, good power hitter, just went to the Braves, and Ian Kinsler just went to the Red Sox. Of course, the Red Sox, they don't know really what they got with Dustin Pedroia. I don't know if he's going to play at all anymore this year. They're not sure.
I think that right there kind of tells you exactly how that's going and whether or not they feel like he can play, and even if he can, what sort of impact he will have. He's clearly someone they don't feel that they can count on at this point in time.
Sure.
So they go out and get themselves some reinforcements.
So what do you think about the Mariners? They're obviously, again, if the price of a starting pitcher is too high, then you just bulk up on the bullpen. Well, it may be something the A's do. They already got Familia.
And the bullpen is, it's odd to think about it, though, because bullpen help is, I would think, cheaper earlier on in the season as opposed to right now, because I've said it for the last 5-6 years. You take a look at the check here from KD. Yeah, not quite able to hold up, but you have got to, you've got to be able to close ball games out, and I think that's what's been identified for a while. But it's been an arms race, and it will continue to be an effort to turn the game into a 5-6 inning affair.
So 3-1 pitch is low.
And with the starting pitching market as thin as it is, and the demand that you would get if you're kicking the tires on a Syndergaard type or a DeGrom type or an Archer type, these are guys that have control, obviously have horsepower.
And that's going to cost you a bundle.
So you better come correct.
But the Mariners, they picked up Cologne from the
Yeah, Colomé from the Rays.
Colomé, excuse me. Yeah, early on.
Very early on. And I mean, I think that was.
And they got the kid from St. Louis.
That's right, Tuivailala.
Tuivailala, yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for doing that name for me.
Yes, Sam Tuivailala.
You know, that guy from the Cardinals. But, I mean, if you think about it, that's two. They added 2 more today. I mean, they have really, middle of the season, really kind of redid their bullpen without having to worry about a closer because they have a very good closer.
Right, you got Edwin Diaz down there. You got Nicasio, who scuffled a little.
And the Mariners just got a 2-run double from Nelson Cruz. Mariners 2, Astros nothing in the 7th inning. And Garrett Cole, the starter for the Astros, had a no-hitter through 5 innings, I believe, but they finally got to him. So 2-0, 7th inning, the Mariners over the Astros. So he's given up 3 hits now, but he had a no-hitter through 5.
Yeah, I think the lack of
up the middle, Drury backhands, looks at second, throws to first, side, retired. So a walk, nothing else, and we are moving to the 6th, 4-0. Brought to you by T-Mobile, built for baseball. On this day in 2012, Kendrick Morales, the only 3rd major league to homer from both sides of the plate in the same inning. Morales opens the scoring in the 6th with a 2-run homer and adds a grand slam. Carlos Barrera in 1993, Mark Bellhorn in 2002, the other 2 players to accomplish the rare feat. So a switch hitter homering from both sides of the plate in the same inning. Kendrick Morales has done it.
I start to go into cold sweats when I think about guys homering twice in the same inning, Kai.
Has that happened to you? Who got you?
Takes me back to a terrible birthday.
So somebody homered twice off you in the same inning on your birthday?
No, it was an early birthday present. You're going to be sent down tomorrow on your birthday. Today, I'm going to take you deep twice in the same inning. How's that sound?
It's kind of the double whammy, isn't it?
Happy birthday from Maglio Ordonez.
Oh, yeah. Well, Mags, he got a few people.
Yeah, not in the same inning, Kipe.
And here's your ticket to Sacramento. Oh, see, this is not fair. Dallas Braden on the hill. Kendrick.
He can't do it.
Hey. We have a ruthless crew down in the truck.
Hey, you know what? Hey, no, enough of that.
Just when you start feeling pretty good, like you're sitting here going, you know what? I got a good broadcast going right here. I've been sharp tonight. I'm on it, throwing out some good info.
I'm going to tell a little story here, and they're like,
boom. Watch Dallas get taken deep.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, okay, see?
There you go.
You're back on top.
There you go. That's living right. A little bit of damage. That's all right.
See, they could have shown a punch out or two.
I got him out a
Him
couple
chasing
times.
a changeup, rolling over, double play. No, they go for the home run.
As they should. As they should. One of the best to do it from both sides, no doubt about it. A big power threat. I remember that freak accident. What was it? I don't know if it was opening day early on in the season. He hit that homer.
Yeah, grand slam, a walk-off grand slam, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, celebrates, jumps on home plate. Unfortunately, ended up breaking his leg.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate injury. Canna grabs it. And right now, let's not forget about Edwin Jackson, who's really kind of rolling along. Ryan Dull, just brought up from the minor league, starts to throw along with the lefty Booker. And with 2 outs, Teoscar Hernandez steps up. 97 pitches for Edwin Jackson.
Well, and what we've seen, Kaipas, he started to go on the last 2 innings. As he's, again, forced the action. I think the run support can help a guy do that, can lend itself to being more aggressive in your game plan as a starter. And you've just seen him continue to fill up the zone his last 2 innings. 99 pitches, ready to throw his 100th pitch on the evening.
Well, I think he's settled in a little bit.
Well, and that's the thing, and I know our man next door, Ray Fosse, will agree at some point in time. Maybe it is around the 85th, 90th pitch. You really start to feel yourself settle in. You really start to hit a stride. And, you know, unfortunately, the human arm melts after 100 pitches. We all know that.
That's right.
Edwin's an old school guy, a veteran who's definitely earned the right to extend himself.
Martini's going to have to play this one out of hop. So Teoscar Hernandez has a base hit, broken back. That boy picks it up, checks it out, says that looks broke to me. Bob Melvin. A little bit of a slower walk than usual for Bob. He may be giving guys just a little extra time, but he's calling for the right-hander Ryan Dull. So Dull throws his last warm-up pitch. Edwin Jackson is done after 5 2/3, and he did a good job. 5 strikeouts, and he has kept the Blue Jays off the board. So maybe tonight he gets career win number 100. We'll find out. But it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. It's your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. Nothing. Edwin Jackson did a good job tonight.
He battled, and his team's got an opportunity to win the ball game right now. And sure, it's still early. 5 2/3 from the veteran righty. It leaves the club in a great position.
So the first pitch from Ryan Dull is a swing and a miss. Dull, ERA right at 6, just brought back from the minor leagues. So Frankie Montas was sent back down to the minor leagues.
Correct.
Off days come into play next week a little bit maybe. And
yeah, you want to keep him on a consistent
Thursday,
turn.
Monday, Thursday, right?
Correct. And I think what this can do here, twofold. One, it gives these guys in the bullpen who might have been shuttled between here and Nashville an opportunity to grab a potential role for the push by the horns. If not, those off days you just mentioned, Kai.
Simeon handles a tough hop, throws to second, side retired. So Dull gets the final out of the 6th, bottom of the 6th coming up.
Drive of the game, and none other than that man, the Canna man, Mark Canna. Kike, you got your jacket? It's bat flipping season. That's right. Mark Canna with the solo blast early on. Put the A's up early.
And Canna will lead things off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. We got a new pitcher. Big right here, Jake Petrichka. Saw him with the White Sox a few years back. He was one of their better relievers. It's time for change. The speedy oil change and auto service. Your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. And Jake Petrichka takes over. And takes inside. So now the count 2-0.
All right, well, StatCast has the dirty lowdown right now on the bomb from Canna. Almost 100 miles an hour off the bat. That sweet spot, 29-degree launch angle, 377 feet, all the way from home plate out to Souvenir City on the left.
StatCast AI powered by AWS. So 3-0 to Canna, Simeon to follow. Reporting there for a strike. Canna also hit a fly ball to center field. Ripped foul bounces off the tarp. Lou Trevino warming up in the A's bullpen. So if you're the A's and you got a 4-0 lead and you get to the late innings, you should have a lot of confidence. Melvin certainly does. Hit to right, Granderson hustling in, and Granderson makes the catch.
It's been 4 years since the Dodgers came into Oakland and almost 30 since that memorable fall classic. Be part of history again when the boys in blue come north to the Bay for a 2-game series starting Tuesday, August 7th at 7:05. Make sure you grab your tickets for this series at athletics.com/California. That's athletics.com/California.
Backhanded by Maley.
I was mentioning before the end of the last half inning, the arms in the bullpen for the Oakland A's maybe having an opportunity to grab a roll as they head down the stretch here. You mentioned the off days, which is very important. Might be an opportunity to sort of rest some of the usual suspects as well.
Absolutely. There's enough down there that if you want to rest somebody or even two guys, you can cover for them.
And I think that's just with the understanding of how the bullpen has been deployed and used up until this point this season. Obviously, the addition of Familia takes a lot of pressure off of that 7th inning role, that 9th inning role as well. Because now you're thinking about two guys have gone multi-inning outings in Trevino and Trinan. Familia kind of breathes a little life into him.
And that one is driven to right. Fair ball down the line. Simeon hits the bag at first. Helmet flies off, and he's going to head into second with a double. Marcus Simeon is it a couple balls down that way.
Well, shoot it the other way, right, Kyle?
Yep.
Shoot it the other way. You talk about this lineup making adjustments and the way things have been going the last 2 weeks or so. We've seen a lot of guys really just do a wonderful job of staying within themselves. And Marcus Simeon, a prime candidate here, shoots it up into the corner. Helmet flies off. Some style points for Simeon.
And here's Lucroy. First pitch misses outside. They're going to the 8th inning up in Seattle. Mariners 2, Astros nothing. Talking about the Mariners bullpen. Well, it's theirs now. Paxton started that game for Seattle, so he's off the disabled list. That's a big deal for the Mariners.
7, 8 punch outs.
Lucroy sac fly in the 4th. The fly ball to center in the 2nd. Fastball from Petruchka runs inside. How about the reports that are coming out now that the Nationals are fielding offers for Bryce Harper?
Yeah, that's just a little.
Does that surprise you at all?
Doesn't surprise me at all. I think you got to throw that out there and dangle that worm, because you just never know. You might get a really aggressive club that feels like, you know what, we're going to do it. We're right on the border. We're right on that line between, oh, you know what, to heck with it. We're going.
Sure.
We're doing it. And you let them take their pick of your farm system.
Oh, interesting stuff. Don't know that it's necessarily going to happen, but the fact that they're willing to talk to other teams in the final less than 24 hours now.
Yeah, I think that's just sort of the realization as well. As we see Lucroy draw the free pass.
Well, the Nationals, we showed you the East there. They're 5.5 back.
Now batting, the fielder.
50 to play, give or take a game.
Martini.
So it's not completely unrealistic for them to get hot and catch Philadelphia or Atlanta, but have they showed it this year that they're capable of that?
And the answer to that is a clear no, in my opinion. But that's because Bryce Harper has been in the witness protection program for the majority of the season as well. And I think the thought for the front office initially is, well, what if this man Bryce Harper actually gets hot? He could be a guy that could carry our offense for the last month of the season.
Absolutely.
He could be a guy that is solely responsible for getting us back into this race and getting us over the hump.
Yep.
So it's a tough situation because you're thinking about the opportunity to try to.
Tough play for Martin, who's thrown a second in the dirt, but it's in time. And Luke Croy out at second base. Russell Martin had to back up and backhand it, and then he had to make a quick throw.
Well, this is not an easy play at all from the onset for Russell Martin. One, he's got to give ground in an effort to get a playable hop. And again, third base not Marty's natural position, probably more of a backstop. But then he's got to wait for Aledmys Diaz to get over to the bag so as to not throw this ball or lead him. Again, this isn't football. You can't necessarily lead your fielder to where you'd hope they end up. That ball could very well end out in right field. So a good heads-up play by Russell Martin in a very unfamiliar position.
And the first pitch to Chapman runs in off the plate, but he swings at it. To finish up the conversation about Bryce Harper, his numbers this year, Dallas, 220 is the batting average, but 25 home runs and 67 RBIs. Batting average low, but still there's decent production here. 67 RBIs. There's a hot final 2 months. Drive in 100 runs.
You just never know, and I think that's the, a talent like that sort of presents you with the unknown.
Swing and gonna miss. So 1-2 the count with Simeon at third, Martini at first. Kind of all over the place. He's thrown 22 pitches here in the 6th inning.
He's not terribly herky-jerky, but he's definitely got some effort behind it. You can see him load up. That leg kick on the front side jerks a little bit at release point. You know he's coming at you with thunder. 94, 95 on the heater. Slider anywhere from 83 to 87.
And he gets Chapman swinging, and the A's strand a pair in the bottom of the 6th. 7th inning coming up. A's 4, Jays nothing.
Brought to you by Toyota. Designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. By Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Xfinity. X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by California's Great America. It's amazing at California's Great America. With roller coasters and water slides, all for one price.
So 4-0, the A's lead the Blue Jays, top of the 7th inning. And Lou Trevino comes in here in the 7th as he faces Brandon Drury. First pitch is a good one right at the knees when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake expert. So Trevino with the sensational numbers, 8-1, 1.28 ERA.
57 punch outs and 49 in the 3rd.
Chapman scoops, throws, got it. Thing of beauty.
Isn't it? Look, there's guys that just make the game look easy, whether it's at the dish, out in the outfield tracking the ball, or coming in, gathering the short hop and making a nice strong throw across the diamond. You can see it's almost an expressionless approach for Matt Chapman. Ho-hum, short hop, rocket to first. Next question.
Yep. He doesn't seem terribly worried about missing the ball or making a bad throw.
No.
Lowest ERA among big league relievers. Trinan first, Trevino 3rd.
How's your bullpen?
Lou Trevino. He was in spring training with the A's, got sent down. Must have made enough of an impression that he was brought back when the A's needed somebody, not brought back, but brought up to the big leagues early in the year.
Well, that's the point right there that I was just going to make, Hype, as you think about, didn't take him long to get back up. And it didn't take him long to make an impression. And Bob Melvin has said it, and I think fans around the A's organization that have watched this season unfold will all agree when I say Lou Trevino has been the reason, Hype.
Well, it is such a wonderful thing to have a dominant reliever who's not your closer. Right? Does that make sense? Your closer's dominant. We all know that. And most closers are pretty dominant. But you have another dominant reliever. I mean, that's.
Well, you're thinking about the 8th and 9th inning. You saw those numbers, you know, an ERA just north of 1 for that man right there. The nail, the 9th inning. You think about the 8th inning too. Pretty much a mirror image of itself.
Granderson cannot hold up. 93 miles an hour.
Well, I was going to say, and you don't blame him. It's 93 with tilt and depth towards the back foot. He's used to barreling balls up at that point in time, and this one just takes a left turn and heads south.
So he tried it again. This time Granderson laid off. Granderson has walked, doubled, and hit a fly ball to center field. Shift is on for Granderson. He slices one foul.
See Lou going with that initial change-up grip. Probably not.
So the count is full. Sometimes maybe you just got to go. Here it is.
Have at it. 4-0 lead.
Like that. Strike 3 called on the inside corner. A couple of strikeouts for Lou Trevino. We have reached the 7th inning stretch at the Coliseum. 4-0 A's lead.
California Ford dealers is this guy right here, Matt Chapman, doing his best AC/DC impression. Dirty deeds, and they are done dirt cheap. Matt Chapman, a little bit of glove work on display. We talked about the ease with which he's able to perform. It's a blessing. Yep, it's a blessing to have that man over there at the hot corner.
So bottom of the 7th inning. He's with a 4-0 lead. We're a new pitcher, Jaime Garcia. So Loop in the 5th, Petrichka in the 6th, and Jaime Garcia here in the 7th.
This might be an opportunity where Jaime, you see, maybe even finish the game off, get a little deep, former starter. Jaime Garcia was part of that St. Louis Cardinals rotation a few years ago that
was pretty good.
Record-setting rotation.
13 starts this year, and this is his 5th appearance out of the bullpen.
Guy that's going to overpower you. 88 to 91 with a fastball. Standard 4th pitch mix, curveball, slider, change on top of that.
Lowry's sitting on a 2-0 pitch, and he fouls it back. So Xfinity X1 customers, make sure you say, "Show me the Oakland A's" in your X1 voice remote. Get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Something off speed, it looked like.
A little bit of,
although it said 89 miles.
It said 89, a little bit of run, might have been a 2-seamer. Just worked its way just enough to the outside part of the plate.
I saw Lowry swing, and it looked like a changeup swing. But
like he was full.
2-2 the count. Lowry 0 for 2 with a walk. Hit hard toward third. Russell Martin shows off a pretty good arm. And Lowry is out 1 away. Going to the bottom of the 8th in Seattle. Mariners 2, Astros nothing.
And I tell you, I think I'm okay with that.
Are you okay with that?
I think I'm okay with Seattle scratching a few across early in this series.
All right. If you're okay with it, I'm okay with it.
The A's can continue to play good baseball like they've done here early on in this game.
Well, if you win with the A's and you win, you're going to pick up ground on somebody when the Astros and the Mariners are playing.
And if you're telling me it's not going to be the 2nd place team, I'll take it being the 1st place team.
As long as you win your game, you're in a good spot. Chris Davis, a walk, a sacrifice fly, and a walk. Hits one down the right field line. Granderson over. Granderson in foul territory has just enough room. Hey, Authentic Fan Fridays, they're back. A's Treehouse behind section 234 this Friday. The Tigers in town. The first 500 fans that show up get an authentic A's fan retro jersey. All fans can pick up one of our Collector Series cheer cards. This week, it's Dallas Brady. I like that.
Oh.
I like that.
Got the 209 on the ball glove there.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Absolutely.
Light a couple follicles on the face. It's a throwback.
Yeah. It was more from your playing days.
Yes.
So here's Matt Olson. Speaking of the Treehouse, we'll be there Saturday night. We'll be doing the game from the Treehouse.
It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. They got space heaters out there, right?
Absolutely. I think. Probably not.
Efforting.
Well, there may not be space heaters, but yeah, you could.
The A's
Get
are
a
hot.
cocktail to warm you up a little bit.
Yeah, the A's are hot. That's all the heat we need.
A couple bodyguards up there. Martin hustling over. Maley, the catcher, battling it, and Luke Maley makes the catch. So, Eddie Garcia with a 3-up, 3-down inning. 8th inning coming up from the Coliseum.
And get ready.
California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
So the A's with a 4-0 lead headed to the top of the 8th inning, and they go back to the bullpen to grab Jerry's Familia. His combined numbers with the Mets and the A's, very good. 2.56 ERA. He is pitching in his 4th game with the Athletics. There's not a lot of runs. He's got a couple of wins.
Well, remember, this is the move that was made to shore up the back end of the bullpen, provide some support down there.
Simeon throws in time. Martin is retired.
And I'd be lying, Kipe, if I didn't wonder how the usage of Familia was going to be approached. Was it going to be a 7th inning, an 8th inning in which Trevino has thrived? Would there even be a conversation of giving the 9th inning to Familia, knowing that Blake Trinan is a just give me the ball sort of guy? Well, that didn't go that route. Blake Trinan obviously still the nail, but Familia in the 8th inning this year, 2.38 ERA, 9th inning, 2.67. Doesn't matter. Just get him the ball and he'll go to work.
And Bob's used him in multiple innings already. His time with the A's.
His first outing.
First outing.
It was multiple innings. Sort of a welcome to the bullpen.
This is what you're going to be doing.
Welcome to how this is going to go.
Quick 0-2 to Rando Grichuk, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. Grichuk chases a pitch, diving down and in. 2 away.
That is filthy. That is, I mean, you've got 98, 99 in the 9th inning with this sort of movement here. And now you go ahead and back it up with the 8th inning featuring 97, 98 mile an hour bowling balls.
So 2 away, and here's Kendrys Morales, who has had a quiet night. Been a hot hitter. But tonight, not so much. Ground out, strikeout, ground out.
12 home runs there. Power guy from both sides.
Morales in his last 18 games hit .356. So he was struggling early in the year. The A's saw the Blue Jays in mid-May in Toronto, and the A's dominated 4-game sweep. Morales lays off that pitch to count 2-1.
Morales was a name that I thought might have been floated a little more than I think it has been during these times. You know, potential power threat, as I mentioned, from both sides of the plate. Where are you going to find a home for him defensively?
Yeah, and he's got a contract for next year. He's in the second year of a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
He is playing first base tonight, but I'm not sure you'd want to run him out there a lot.
Right.
So that all of a sudden your trade partners start to get really small.
Well,
got to be DH.
Well, and if you're having the conversation that we had earlier in regards to the AL, those playoff teams have pretty much identified themselves.
Yeah.
Probably not a home anywhere on those rosters.
So 3-2 to Kendrys Morales.
.97 down and away with some heavy sink. See there, no two-strike approach, no choking up. Down on the knob, let the head fly for Kendrys.
Man, that one just missed outside. Familia thought he had it.
See Familia just all he can do but smile and grin and bear it. 89 painted down and away. He said, okay, I can be a little
now
better.
batting number 26, Enervis Solarte.
So runner aboard with 2 outs. Here's Enervis Solarte. Solarte's 0 for 3. Strikeout, ground out, and a flyout. And there's a good pitch.
And you know what I like to see out of Familia as well is pitching with that emotion. You can see him finish that pitch there. Slider, strike one, a little mild recoil. Little flare.
And a little 97.
That's right, another nice little recoil. Little 89-mile-an-hour wrinkle first pitch. Here's 97 up around the hands. Gonna beat you to a spot.
A little late.
Solarte trying to make up all the runs.
So 0-2. That one drilled toward left center field. That's going to be a base hit. Martini gets to it. And Morales stops at second base.
Well, this is just a slider that catches too much of the strike zone here. Trying to work this thing towards the back foot of Solarte. This slider just hangs and mixes in the middle.
So 2 on, 2 out. A little trouble for Familia. Now he faces a guy with pretty good power, Teoscar Hernandez. He's got 16 home runs. So you got to be careful. 1 for 3 tonight with a couple of strikeouts and a single. First pitch, strike on the inside corner. So now the count 0-2.
If you're familiar, you've done your job.
Well, we got a final, Dallas. Mariners 2, Astros nothing. The Seattle Mariners are 3 games back.
All right.
2 in the loss column.
All right.
The A's are 5.5 back. 2-0 Mariners over the Astros in the first of that 3-game series. 2-pitch, got him swinging. So Lucroy on the tag. A couple of strikeouts for Familia. Bottom of the 8th coming up.
And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
All right, here's our game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Nothing for the Blue Jays. No runs, 4 hits, no errors. The A's, 4 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. Edwin Jackson pitches into the 6th inning. Canada with a home run. A couple of hits for Nick Martini. So 3 outs from Edwin Jackson's 100th career win. Let's hope he gets it. Garcia back out there. He pitched a perfect 7th inning. A couple more notes from that Mariners win over the Astros. Paxton got the win. He went 7 innings. Struck out 80, only gave up 3 hits. And Garrett Cole, 6 2/3 innings. He had 8 strikeouts. So Paxton wins it. He's 9-4. Cole is the loser. He's 10-3. So they will have 2 more games in that series. So the Astros have lost 5 in a row. So the opportunity is there.
And
they've opened the door a little bit.
Yes,
Which,
no doubt.
you know, I'm not afraid to say I did not see, just didn't see the Astros opening the door, and they have.
No, that's a very fair point when you think about the additions that they had made to their starting staff and the success that those guys have had, and the way that that juggernaut of an offense came out bludgeoning people. You just never really anticipated a point in time in the season where you'd be able to make up ground, whether you were the 4th place team, 5th, or someone scratching for a 2nd spot. Who knows?
Sure.
You just never thought it possible. And now here we sit, as you mentioned, the Astros having dropped 5 in a row. And the key is, if you're Oakland and you're not going to be winning ball games while they are losing ball games, you have to start, you have to at least tread water.
Piscotty high and deep to center field. And that baby is gone. 5-0 A's lead. So number 15 for Stephen Piscotty. Couple home runs tonight for the A's. They now have 146 on the year, 4th best in the American League. For Stephen Piscotty, his 8th home run in the month of July. He's going to want the calendar to stay put tomorrow. July 31st.
Take a look at the swing. Little mixer in the middle. Jaime Garcia trying to go breaking ball. Piscotty's the guy. If it's going to be soft coming to him, it better be buried down towards the back foot. If not, he's going to take full advantage. And you know where we're going, Kipe. All aboard. Next stop, Pound Town.
0-2 the count on Canna. He hit the other home run for the A's. That was in the 2nd inning. Hits one up the middle, and that will get through into center field. So Canna's 2 for 4.
Here's our man, Gil Patterson,
Now batting shortstop.
minor league pitching coordinator for the Oakland A's.
Simeon.
And filling in down in the bullpen for Marcus Jensen, who finds himself in the dugout next to the skipper. Scott Emerson, the team's pitching coach, is away handling some family business. You're in our hearts, Scotty and Pat. Much love to you guys. There's a look at Marcus. So a total team effort tonight, as is usually the case.
So here's Marcus Simeon, who takes a high strike. 2 for 3 for Marcus Simeon tonight. Marcus coming off a 2 for 10 series in Colorado.
All right, get your abacus. Here we go with StatCast. 106 off the wood, 33-degree angle, and 405 paces away from home plate. Get it in you, Piscotty.
0-2 to Simeon with Canna at first. Left center, that's hit well. Teoscar Hernandez is back, so is Grichuk, and it'll be Hernandez, and he dropped it. Canna hustling for third. Simeon to second as the ball comes through, rolling to the middle of the infield, and it's second and third. Teoscar Hernandez just missed it. Actually, he didn't miss it, he dropped it.
He did, he dropped it. And it's that time of night here. You got a dark sky, obviously. You've got the lights that you're contending with, and you can see there right on the edge of the track, it starts to get a little darker towards the warning track. Maybe the stands sort of playing some shady tricks on our friend Hernandez out there in left, but it's a play that's got to be made, and he'll tell you himself. Disappointing, no doubt.
67 errors now for the Blue Jays. That's the 3rd most in the American League. So that's been an issue for them. So second and third and nobody out. RBI opportunity for Lucroy. Extend this A's lead, which is already 5-0. Changeup drops in first strike.
See Lucroy hitting 300 with runners in scoring position. Got himself a couple stakes out there.
Picked up his 34th RBI of the year in the 4th inning with that sacrifice fly. Garcia had a nice 7th inning, but trouble here in the 8th. He is the 4th pitcher of the night for Toronto. field in. And that one's driven left center field. Hernandez again on the move, near the wall, and it's off the wall. Canna will score. Simeon right behind him. He's going to score. It's a 2-run double for Jonathan Lucroy, and the A's have really busted it open. It's 7-0.
Well, Luke gets on top of this heater here, and that's what gets it done. He's done a good job of being able to get to that fastball up in the zone. And here, 88, nothing that's going to overpower him. And again, 300 in scoring position. Couple ducks on the pond. And you know Lucroy's eyes got as big as beach balls. And Kike, really, this has been the story for the Oakland A's.
Your attention, please.
Before that tough trip into Colorado. Hits with 2 outs, hits with men in scoring position, not leaving guys out on the base paths.
So this is Franklin Barreto. He's going to hit for Martini. So Barreto pinch hitting, still nobody out. 3 runs in. Barreto takes a strike on the inside corner. Okay, Dallas, this is what I got. Bottom 4 in the A's batting order. 7 for 14 with 5 RBIs and 6 runs scored. Does that look right?
A couple long balls as well.
That's 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Yep. And again, if you're going to get that sort of production from the bottom of the order, you'll absolutely take it. I mean, Nick Martini, I have talked at length about this young man at the top of the lineup, sort of taking that spot, hasn't let it go. But, you know, there's been some shuffling of the lineup as well. Chapman was hitting down in the lineup early on in the year, started to swing his way to the top. Marcus Semien, a little bit of a role reversal.
Yeah. But how about Chapman, Lowry, Davis, Olsen? 0 for 11.
Yeah.
So you're winning 7-0, and your 2 through 5 hitters are 0 for 11. Barreto chased that one in the dirt. So that is out number 1.
Kite, tell me, when was the last time you saw the A's take batting practice? Well, for every Tuesday night home game, the ballpark gates are now open at 4:30 p.m. for the fans. Plus, parking is free on most Tuesdays as part of the Chevy Free Parking Tuesdays. Come to the ballpark, enjoy BP, and make a lasting memory, huh?
I saw BP today.
Me too. Yeah, I saw you there. Not a bad scene, BP. If you like homers.
If you like home run balls, you can go get them.
That's right.
Just get a good spot out in left field or right field. First pitch to Chapman is away. Crowd tonight is 11,449. Buchter, who's, well, he looks like he's ready to roll. See it behind in the count, 2-0. Chapman tonight is 0 for 3. That one's not close, and now it's 3-0.
You can see Garcia has just lost all semblance of a release point. Struggled here. A's batter's doing a great job of being patient. Late in the ball game, you don't want to give away AB. Still very important, especially coming off that 3-game skid in Colorado. Like to get your approach right.
And that one misses. So a 4-pitch walk to Chapman, and the inning continues.
And there is nobody kicking around down there in that Toronto Blue Jays bullpen. Is see Gibby start to get up and get a little mobile. It's going to be Garcia's to wear. Tulo, do you have an inning?
Can you give me one?
Gil's a little barky.
So 2 on, 1 out, 3 runs in. And Lowry drives it toward the gap, and that's going to get down. It's going to score Lucroy. It's going to score Chapman, and it's going to give the A's a 9-0 lead.
Well, the pile-on effect is very real, Kite. Very real. Garcia struggled mightily at the onset of this inning here. Piscotty takes him deep. Canna comes up and gets himself a knock. You got a ball that's dropped out and left, and the line has just continued to move. And this is what good teams do when they get into the bullpen and they get into the later innings. They start to expose teams' weaknesses. They don't let up. This is pedal to the metal time here.
The soft underbelly,
that's
as
right.
They like to say.
That's right. I've always believed that the best time to kick a team is when they are down.
And that one is driven, and that's going to get down for a hit. Pinch runner is Fowler. He's running for Lowry, and he races around third and scores. 10-0. So Chris Davis, his second RBI tonight. He's got 82 now on the year. What a year.
What a year is right. Katie wasted no time getting to business. Heater in. Hit them where they ain't, Kite.
Yep.
Hit them where they ain't. See Fowler busting around.
Garcia, as we like to say, he's wearing this one.
Yep, he's going to sew it on and make it look as good as he possibly can. It's a tough break.
Listen, no manager likes to do this to a veteran pitcher, and Jaime Garcia's been around a long time, but what are you supposed to do?
Well, that's the thing, as a veteran pitcher in this situation, you understand what your job is at this point in time. It's to eat up these last 2 outs. Absolutely no reason to get anybody moving down there.
No.
You know, you've had
6 runs in.
Yeah, you've had some bad luck, right? You had a ball dropped out in left field. Everybody saw it.
Olsen takes a breaking ball that drops low. Matt Olson is 0 for 4. Slices that one into the seats, second level. "36 pitches for Garcia, most of them coming here in the 8th inning. Down and away.
You know, little souvenir action. Whoa. Hey-o. Whoa.
Seat 1.
Whoa.
Fan nothing.
Greg, you can't get out. These things made of Velcro? He's stuck to it.
Got the ball. There's a shot right field. A bang off the wall. Chris Davis digging for third. Matt Williams puts the stop sign up. Olsen with the double. These have sent 9 men to the plate here in the 8th inning.
This sounded like a shotgun blast off the bat of Matt Olson. Talk about balls sounding just a little different. This one has frankly sounded a lot different than any other ball, in my opinion, we've had hit tonight. Even Piscotty's home run that left to the deepest part of the park. That was a seed off the bat of Matty Oak.
So now there is action. Joe Biagini just starting to throw, because there's still only one out. So Piscotty steps up. He started it all with a home run. He's 2 for 4. Scored a couple of runs. And Piscotty takes a pitch inside. A home run in the 8th inning. Way back in the 8th inning. Way back there. Missed again, and now it's 2-0.
So what camp do you reside in, Kipe? Have the Oakland A's batted around?
Yeah, I had a feeling you were going to ask me this. Yeah, I think once Olson hit, and he makes it the 9th man to hit, then yeah, I think so.
Yep. Batted around. Speaking of batting around, Piscotty batting around that backup slider. Half a month. Half a month.
That's true. The month of July.
8, 9, right?
8, I believe. And looking for more RBIs here. And now it's 3-0.
We may stand corrected here if Garcia is unable to get through Piscotty. Might see another arm.
Yep, I think you're right. We're about to find out. Canna steps to the plate. Blue Jays trying to figure out what to do, and they are going to go get Jaime Garcia. So Joe Biagini's going to come in. And again, still only one out, 6 runs in for the A's.
Greatest win streak in baseball history. 20 straight wins propel the A's to the playoffs. So join us as we celebrate the return of the streak team on Saturday, August 18th against the Astros here at 105. The first 15,000 fans will receive a streak team t-shirt presented by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Grab your 50th anniversary memory for tickets. Head to athletics.com.
So that's Jaime Garcia, who goes 1 1/3 inning, gives up 6 hits and 6 runs so far. The A's have the bases loaded with Canna coming up, so Joe Biagini takes over.
Center fielder, number 20, Mark Canna.
So Canna looks out there. He sees teammates all over the bases. Canna's had a good ball game. 2 for 4, homer, single, and he has scored a couple of runs. 10 runs and 12 hits now for the A's. They've had 6 runs and 6 hits in this inning alone. First pitch is a strike. Joe Biagini, pitcher number 5 for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays with the team ERA coming into tonight 4.63. That's 11th out of 15 teams, so that's going to go up a little bit. On the outside corner, and that was a strike. Canna may have disagreed with it, but it looked like it was a pretty good pitch.
It was a good pitch, and I think a lot of time what happens is guys will end up looking back after the pitch and they'll see maybe where the catcher was set up, and they'll realize where that ball was caught, and they're thinking he missed location. No chance that could have been a ball, but he'll go back up to the video room, I'm sure, and assess.
Big curve, and it drops down and away.
And that's a mix you don't typically see from guys that are used in, not that this is a back-end bullpen type situation for this game here, but 94, 95, a big overhand curveball. Usually see that sort of velocity accompanied with a slider or a cutter.
Canna checks his swing. He did not go, and the pitch was a little bit down. 2-2.
You can see Biagini directly over the top, sort of like that old school Iron Mike pitching machine. It's that fastball working downhill, trying to throw the curveball out of that same spot. Also known as tunneling pitches. You try to tunnel those pitches out of the same release point, create deception.
Martin has it. He's going to step on third. He's going to throw to first, and Morales digs it out, and that's a double play. So the A's score 6 times in the 8th inning alone. Scotty with a home run. Lots of big hits in that inning. It's 10-0 to go to the ninth. Papa Ray Rattle, Kelly Johnson bring you the happy hour. It's also available to listen live. It's a podcast on NBCSportsBayArea.com. So Ryan Buchter comes in. It is the top of the 9th inning. And that one is belted. That one is way out of here. It was Olympus Diaz who jumped on the first pitch from Buchter, and he got most of all of that.
I would tend to agree, Kite. Got the lefty coming in and Book. We talk a lot about this. Pitching to the score. 2-1. Come in, get ahead. First pitch heater. His middle in. Diaz hunting the heater, looking to get off on something early. And you're thinking, oh, is he going to take a strike? Not down 10. Not down 10.
Let her rip. Thought I saw a Mark Ellis jersey out there. Did you see that after the home run? Looked like I saw a 14 out there.
Wow. Throwback. Could have been an old 41 Kurt Young.
No, I think it was 14.
Oh, all right.
Older gentleman, an Ellie fan.
Yeah.
A little while ago.
Oh, that bald guy. The bald guy that was.
Cannon left, Fowler in center, Barreto at second. So those are the defensive replacements. Up and away, 93 miles an hour. Brendan Drury, his 4th at bat. He's 0 for 3. Olsen backs up. Barreto's over there as well, but it's going to be Matt Olsen. He's a little bit taller than Barreto. Tall guy usually gets the pop-up.
He's the first one to know it rains.
That's right. So 2 away.
Number 21,
1 away, excuse me.
Luke Maley.
Blue Jays are a team that hits home runs, though. The A's, with their 2 tonight, have 146. The Blue Jays, with the home run by Diaz, have 141. So they are dangerous as far as hitting the long ball.
Sure.
First pitch strike to Luke Maley. Maley is 0 for 3. It's been Jackson for 5 2/3. Dull, a third of an inning. He got out of the 6th. Trevino pitched the 7th. No hits, no runs, a couple of strikeouts. Familia pitched the 8th. He gave up a hit, but he had a couple of strikeouts. And now Buchter here in the 9th. So another pretty good night by the bullpen. Diaz home run. Somewhat meaningless in the big picture on the scoreboard. Not for Buchter, though.
They all count. They all matter. This is never an easy spot to come into a ball game, and I know people are thinking, well, why not? Probably going to end up winning the ball game. But at this level, there's a lot that can be said for game situation, adrenaline, things that factor into getting up and ready for a big league ball game. Motivating factors.
Sure.
You know, the same thing that might get a young guy going or a rookie going in this type of ball game might not be the same as a 15-year vet.
Nope. The Buchter strikes out with Maley. So 2 outs. That's the pitching matchup tomorrow. Trevor Cahill against Sam Gaviglio. So we'll look forward to that, and we'll have it for you right here on NBC Sports Television.
Ladies and gentlemen, for Toronto, batting for Curtis Granderson, number 27, Dwight Smith Jr.
So here's Dwight Smith Jr., who's hitting for Granderson.
That's just how we drew it up, right? Trevor Cahill and Brett Anderson, a part of that rotation, making a push for the postseason.
First pitch swinging. And this should do it. The sure-handed Matt Chapman squeezes it. And the ball game is indeed over. Solo home run for Diaz, but that's it for the Blue Jays in the 9th inning. And the A's come home and get this 8-game homestand started on a winning note. And they also pick up a game in the first place Houston Astros. The A's are now 5 back of the Astros in the AL West. Time of game was 2 hours and 59 minutes. The crowd was 11,449. Final score tonight from the Coliseum. The Oakland Athletics 10 and the Toronto Blue Jays 1. Time now for A's post-game live. Here's Laura Brett.